Operator, can you please connect me with OTR Halloween Holidays? I don't want to miss this episode of the Bah Ghoulie Show.
It clicks. It clicks. What clicks? The Eversharp Chick Injector Razor, made by Eversharp, manufacturers of Eversharp Chick Injector razors and blades, and famous Eversharp precision writing instruments.
Hideous things come out of the darkness to prowl the tortured earth. Evil hands stretch forth to seize. Evil eyes are watching. Unholy voices whisper and quarrel in the fearful silence. Death stalks. Loathsome, horrible death. Dare you put out your lights and listen to Boris Karloff and the story of horror in the deepening darkness? Dare you listen to... Lights Out?
I'm glad you brought up the question of ethics, Ed. Sometimes I think science is too ethical. Stands in the way of research.
I don't know, David. Take your work, for example. It's wonderful, but you have to be very cautious. I think working with monkeys is about as far as you should go right now.
Oh, but Ed, David is past that stage. Why not show Ed the one you worked on today, darling?
If you'd like to see it, Ed, it's right in the lab.
Yes, I would. I saw it last night after you injected the poison.
I'll get it, David.
Thank you, dear. It's in the second cage.
Ruth's a wonderful girl, David. Must be a big help to you in your work.
Don't know what I'd do without her. But if she ever gets too interested in pure science, I'm going to lock her out of the lab and just make her go back to being a wife.
How do you find time for a wife?
Now, look here. All you practicing surgeons think the research man is a machine. Not me, Ed. Ruth means more to me than all the discoveries I might make. Her happiness is all I live and work for.
Well, I can't say that I blame you. She's a very charming person.
Here he is.
Same one you saw last night, Ed. Stone dead. And there he is, just as healthy and alive as any other monkey.
Why, it's amazing, David. Naturally, I followed all the experiments along this line, but you seem to have progressed much farther.
David can't go any farther with animals. He's ready for the next step, and he can do it.
Well, I'm all for research, David. But you have a moral obligation in this sort of thing. How do you know it'll work with human beings?
Oh, you're a surgeon yourself, Ed. You know that human beings are animals just like all the subjects I've used. I know it'll work.
Well, knowing it won't get you far with society. You'll have to submit proof.
I know that, and I've tried every way I can think of to get a human being to demonstrate on.
He's tried insane asylums, penitentiaries, everywhere.
No one will listen to me.
Well, in a way, you can't blame them. Even to me, with my training, the idea seems, well, blasphemous.
My dear Ed, you can't stop scientific progress because of a so-called moral concept.
Besides, what could be less blasphemous than to triumph over death?
I'm sorry, but I can't see it that way. I wouldn't want to try it on me. When I'm dead, I want to stay dead.
Oh, that's foolish, Ed. Well, if I die first, I want David to use me for a subject.
Ruth.
Don't look so startled, Ed. She's always been my strongest supporter, but I'm not going to use her as a subject. I like her too well as a wife.
Still, it gives me the shivers to hear you talk that way, Ruth.
Well, why? I've seen David's work grow to where the technique is perfect. Before long, his experiments will be recognized by the whole medical world. And if I can help him achieve that goal, I'm willing to do anything. Living or dead. I mean it.
She said she wanted to do it, Ed, living or dead.
David, you're surely not going to hold it to that. Not now.
Of course I am. She meant it.
But
I called you over here tonight, Ed, because I need help.
don't tell me that.
But I want you to help me bring Ruth's... to bring her here. That's exactly what I mean.
David.
Will you help me? Or must I bribe some stranger?
David, why don't you give this thing up? It's inhuman.
Ed, if I succeed, I'll have Ruth back. Don't you see how much it means?
Well, yes, if you're successful.
Oh, I've no doubt about that. Look, I've got my laboratory record. 714 times I performed the experiment on guinea pigs, rabbits, monkeys. 714 times it's been successful. Don't you see?
But, David, this is no laboratory experiment. Ruth was your wife.
She is my wife. The only woman I ever loved. That's why I want to bring her back here and start her breathing and living again.
There's an ugly name for what you're asking me to do, David.
I know. Grave robbery. But there's a better name for it, Ed. Death robbery. We'll rob old man Death. Kick the door shut. On the operating table.
I must say you're completely equipped.
It's surgery just as well as a lab. Everything we need is here.
There. Well, it's done.
Not yet.
You mean you want me to stay?
Ed, listen. Ever since Ruth... Well, I guess I've leaned on you for everything. I won't ask you to stay, but I do need you. Just a little longer.
All right, David. I'll stay.
Ruth will be the first to thank you when we succeed.
David, I'll always doubt this until I see Ruth living, breathing, smiling again.
It won't be long, just a matter of 15 or 20 minutes.
If nothing happens. What will you do if your operation doesn't work?
Then you'll have just one more job to do as my friend.
And that?
Will be to bury both of us.
Oh, now look, David.
If Ruth isn't alive again within a few minutes, I'll have lost her forever. And I'll have proved that my whole life's work is useless. I'll have reason enough to use any of a dozen tricks that any good surgeon knows. End the whole business. Oh, but don't look so horrified, Ed. We won't fail. Let's begin.
I should remind you once more, David, that you're usurping powers that belong to God Almighty.
I like to think that Providence has wisely held back the knowledge of things like this until we knew how to use them, and I know how. Hand me that large beaker.
All right. I'm not going to back out on you, David. What shall I do?
Do. You'll work as you haven't worked in surgery before. Thank heavens I've got your skill on my side. Now then, first strap the sphygmomanometer on her arm.
I just happened to think of something.
Keep moving. This is all a matter of timing.
But, David...
Here are your instruments. And I want the incision right here where I'm shaving the hair. Make a small incision just at the fontanelle while I prepare the solution.
David, have you considered...
Please, work fast.
But, Dave... What? She was embalmed, you know.
Of course I know that. I've something to replace the blood and counteract the fluid.
It's ghastly.
Finish the cut. I know what I'm doing.
Well, that's all for the incision, but after all...
Work nice. Now cut away the dura mater.
Entirely? Leave the brain exposed?
Yes, I'll fix that. I've done it 700-odd times.
This is no guinea pig or monkey.
Well, I hardly need reminding.
Sorry. What's that?
A compound I've synthesized myself.
What is it?
I call it digamma-paradamine. Oh, I know that isn't chemically correct, but it's as close as I can get to it. I knew that something like it must exist. It took 3 years to track it down. It took me that long to make the first drop of it.
Oh, you know what you're doing, all right.
Yes, I do. Now then, if you're finished, take the leads from that storage battery there and attach the positive to the silver plate on the shelf. Put that at her feet.
I feel as if I were doing something unholy.
Place the tip of the negative in the incision you made in the skull. Be sure the tip of the wire actually penetrates the pia mater.
David, what if you bring her back?
I will bring her back.
But what if you bring her back and find she comes back without her soul?
What? Her soul?
Yes.
You're a surgeon, and you believe in a soul?
Well, I'd hesitate to say there is no such thing.
You've seen a good many deaths, haven't you? Have you ever seen any evidence that the soul escapes at death?
Perhaps I couldn't recognize the evidence.
Put it this way, then. If there is any soul, it either leaves the body or stays with it at death. Now, no reputable surgeon or physician has ever been able to report the slightest evidence of the soul's having left the body. So, the soul, if there is a soul, must stay with the body, a part of it. I'm ready now, if you've finished.
Everything's set.
Good. Close that switch, then, at the battery. Watch the meter and keep the current between plus and minus 5 of 150. There's a rheostat on the edge of the table. All right?
All right.
Now, I'm going to inject 10 cc's of adrenaline in the brachial artery.
Adrenaline?
Adrenaline and something else. There. God, she's beautiful, Ed.
Yes. She was.
She is. You'll see her in a few minutes, just as she was.
I wonder what you'll have to tell us.
Nothing. Death is only a transcendental sleep.
Do you really believe that, Dick?
Oh, well, what's the difference? How's the current?
Well, let's see. What? Well, it's jumped to 180.
Good. Bring it back to 150. That's the result of the injection.
On a dead body?
Let's say suspended animation. There are still a few things in surgery you don't know, aren't there?
I never dreamed of a reaction like that.
I'll show you more. Help me swing this lamp over here.
But...
Let the ammeter go. It'll hold steady for a minute now.
But it might jump again.
No, it won't. I've been all through this before. The reactions are exactly the same as the others.
Well, this lamp. X-rays?
No, it's a modification of the cathode ray. And just another of my developments. I call these our theta rays.
Why do you call them that?
Well, most rays are named for the first few letters in the Greek alphabet. Alpha, beta, gamma, and so on.
Well, that explains theta. Didn't you say a theta?
Yes. But theta was called the letter of death by the ancient Greeks.
Well, that's right. It was the first letter in the word thanatos. Death. Yeah, I see. A theta without death.
Maybe I was too sentimental.
Maybe. At least human for once.
Let's not argue. Here goes the ray. Now, quickly. The solution.
Inject it?
No, pump it. I built this pump especially for it. There's the pump switch, Ed.
Here?
Yeah. Turn it on. And watch the ammeter.
Okay. It's jumping.
How far?
155.
Let it go.
160. 170.
Hold it there. It'll stay there now. Listen carefully.
Yes.
As soon as I turn off the pump, I want spigma readings.
But there won't be any blood pressure.
Wait and see. Give me a reading each time I ask for it and take them carefully. Are you ready?
This is fantastic. I'm ready.
Okay. Reading.
Systolic 0. Diastolic 2.
That's all right. It will take a few seconds. Now.
40.
My God. Diastolic. Hurry.
0.
Aortic valve still open. I'll turn off the ray. Reading.
48. Over 42. David.
Not yet. Now the stopwatch. 7 seconds after I say go, I want the systolic. Now you have it?
Right.
Ready. Now, go.
$60.
Good. Just what it should be. Lord, look at my hand.
I don't wonder.
Oh, darling, just a few more minutes. All right, Ed. Now the ray again. We'll know the answer very soon.
The second act of Lights Out, starring Boris Karloff, will follow in just a moment. But now, listen to the sweetest shaving song ever written. Push-pull, click-click. Changes blades that quick. Push-pull, click-click. with the Eversharp Schick Injector Razor. Yes, it clicks for men everywhere. Because the Eversharp Schick Injector Razor is the world's one and only razor with the automatic blade changer. No blades to unwrap. Fingers never touch the blade. Just push-pull, click-click. And a keen new blade is automatically locked in correct shaving position instantly. It clicks because the Eversharp Schick Injector Razor makes shaving 50% faster, 100% safer, 200% smoother. Just try the Eversharp Schick Injector Razor for 1 week. See for yourself the difference. It's a $1.75 value. Special now, only $1.25, complete with 20 blades. For the shave of your life, the rest of your life, switch to an Eversharp Schick Injector Razor. Get yours tomorrow. Push-pull, click-click. Buy an Eversharp Schick.
How long do you use the ray this time, David?
Not long. Give me a reading.
68. Over 67.
Now.
70.
Diastolic.
68.
Now.
David, 118. 76.
Close. Now.
120. That's it. 80.
The stethoscope. Quick. Here. Listen.
Asleep?
Yes, almost a coma.
She's all right otherwise?
As far as I can tell, her respiration's normal, pulse just a tiny bit fast, and the reflex is slow, but apparently all right.
David, I feel I must apologize to you.
Apologize? Why?
Well, for doubting you, I suppose.
You'll learn to believe me.
Very calm in the face of all this. Do you realize that you've performed a miracle?
A miracle? I brought my wife back to me, as I promised her.
It's an unholy thing, but
we've conquered death. Is that unholy?
We have conquered death. May God forgive us.
She'll only wait now.
How long has she been asleep?
Let me see. 11 hours.
Hasn't spoken at all?
Not since that first scream, when she fell asleep.
Have you given her anything?
Just a few cups of brandy.
Have you tried to wake her?
No, but I think I'll try now.
Oh, wait a minute before you do.
Why?
Well, I hate to keep harping on this business about a soul, David. I realize this is no place for a philosophic discussion, but I can't help wondering why Ruth screamed when she first came back to life.
I think there's a logical explanation. After all, it must have been a physical shock.
Well, that's true. It must also be true that there was a great mental shock involved. I think that's why she screamed, and I'm wondering whether there's been a permanent effect on her mind. Or, as I prefer to think of it, her soul.
Oh, you're simply borrowing trouble, Ed. I've never seen any sign of permanent damage in my other experiments.
Don't forget that Ruth was a human being.
Well, there's only one way to find out. I'm going to wake her.
You're not afraid?
Afraid? Of what? Ruth. Ruth. Wake up, darling. Ruth, dear, it's David speaking. Wake up, dearest. Ruth. Ruth. There, darling. No wonder it scared a poor girl. Ruth, it's David, dear. I kept my promise and you're alive again. Oh, you're all right, honey. It's David, you're... Ruth. Ruth.
David, what's the matter?
Ruth. God, it isn't her mind.
No, David. Her soul. David, you'd better go out for a little exercise now.
I'll stay here with her.
I'll stay while you go out and walk around a bit. You've been there with us since 8 o'clock last night without any letter. Go on, I'll stay.
Ed.
I know, old boy. I'd give anything myself if we could undo what we've done, but...
Ed, what can I do?
Well, there may be something. Let's try an experiment when she wakes up again.
What kind of an experiment?
Well, let's see if we can talk to her, get her to say anything. If we can get a flicker of intelligence, maybe we can teach her, build up from a small fragment.
Maybe it might work. I'm going to wake her up and try it.
But not now. Why don't you take a walk, relax a little, and get something to eat while you're out?
Eat, I can't eat. I'm going to wake her. Ruth.
David, why not let her sleep?
She's waking up now. Ruth. Hello, Ruth. Are you waking up? Poor child.
There.
She repeats after me. A little. Maybe it will work, Ed. Ruth. David. It works.
Seems to. Ruth, say I want a glass of water.
Seems to.
I want a glass of water.
It's too long for her. Ruth. Say, Ruth loves David. Ruth loves David. Ruth loves David. Working, Ed?
Maybe. But what is she thinking?
I don't know.
Stop it! Wait a minute, old man. Listen, too much for you, tired as you are. Go on out and take a little walk, and I'll work with it for a while. Your nerves won't take much of this.
I guess you're right, Ed. I can't think anymore. I'll be right back.
Fine. I'll take good care of her and see what I can find out.
Be patient.
Don't worry, I will. And you get something to eat while you're out.
All right, I'll try.
Poor guy, this is really rough on him.
Rough on him.
Ruth. We're kidding ourselves. There's nothing there. She's a parrot. Never mind, Ruth. Ruth, put on a scalpel. Don't hurt yourself. Ruth, stay away. Don't put it down. Think of David.
For God's sake, what happened?
Ruth. Scalpel.
I'll get something and fix you right up.
Wait. No use.
Now, look.
Doctor. Artery. No hope.
Ed. All right, Doctor. Your diagnosis is correct.
A minute or two left. Ruth's hiding. Watch out. No soul. She'll kill you, too.
What have I done, Ed? Everything I've done is wrong.
Wonderful technique, Doctor. Congratulations. What about soul?
Ed. Ruth. She's somewhere in the house. What if she gets out? And a scalpel in her hands. There's been enough damage. Ruth! Basement. I'd better take a gun. Ruth! Ruth! Wish I had more light. Ruth! Ruth! Ruth, now give me that scalpel. You'll hurt yourself. Ruth.
Ruth loves David.
Rose, come back. Come back!
Hello? Yes? Oh. Hello, Doctor. Well, I've been busy in the lab. No, there's nothing new. Just an experiment. No. Like so many experiments, it just didn't work out.
Eversharp Chick has just presented Boris Karloff in the first of the new series of mystery and terror stories, Lights Out. In just a moment, we'll tell you about next week's story. But first, no matter what kind of razor you use now, here's a challenge. There's a better, easier, faster way to shave. Eversharp Chick Injector Razor has banished forever 90% of the nuisance that makes shaving such a chore. Ends nuisance number 1, no time wasted. Eversharp Chick Injector Razor has been proved at least 50% faster. Ends nuisance number 2, it's safer. Patented guard bar prevents skin irritation, even under nose. Eversharp Chick shaves clean and smooth without skin irritation. Ends nuisance number 3, nothing to take apart or put together. World's easiest razor to clean. Just rinse, shake, put away. Ends nuisance number 4, no blades to unwrap. Fingers never touch the blade. Just push-pull, click-flick. Because Eversharp Chick's the world's one and only razor with the automatic blade changer that locks a keen new blade, the world's sharpest blade, in correct shaving position instantly. Yes, it's 50% faster, 100% safer, 200% smoother. So for the world's quickest, easiest, cleanest shave, change to Eversharp Chick Injector Razor. It's a $1.75 value, but special now for only $1.25, complete with 20 blades. Buy yours tomorrow. Next week, Lights Out will bring you a story about the undead, the vampires who are doomed to wander alone through all eternity, seeking the blood of innocent ones. Be sure to listen next Wednesday night at the same time. Lights Out is produced and directed by Bill Lawrence. The script is by Paul Pierce and Willis Cooper. This is Ken Niles speaking for Eversharp, manufacturers of Eversharp Chick Injector razors and blades, and famous Eversharp precision writing instruments. For birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, and business gifts, remember the best gift of all is an Eversharp CA pen. Buy yours tomorrow during the sensational Eversharp CA pen sale. Buy now and save as much as 60%. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
It's intermission time at the Bah Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. During the intermission, our radio show brings to you a cartoon for the record. We now return you to our radio show. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda.
Phantoms of a world gone by speak again their immortal tale. What was it?
All right, then. What was it?
What was it? Nobody knows. But the house was haunted by something or somebody. The boarders here at Mrs. Dimity's boarding house didn't believe in ghosts either, myself included. But we were curious about them. That's why we voted to move into the old brownstone house on 49th Street. And once we were in, we were still convinced that ghosts don't venture abroad in a New York tenement building. The only one who wasn't quite convinced that ghosts exist only in storybooks was old Mrs. Dimity herself. But her favorite roomer, young, handsome Ned Saunders, and myself, I'm Dr. Hammond, we refused to believe the ghostly nonsense. Anne Mitchell, the young sculptress who lived there, was frankly curious, while the Countess Harkavy, a fortune-teller of some renown and a psychic of questionable fame, was delighted at the idea of living in a haunted house. That was in a business way, of course. It was around 11 o'clock at night when the boarders, who were then assembled in that dark, dreary living room, first heard what some claimed was a ghostly presence.
Listen to that, Dr. Hammond.
I hear it, Ned. It's an uncommon sort of sound for the wind.
That is not the wind, Dr. Hammond. It is the cries from the spirit world. I feel it in the marrow of my bones.
Oh, say, Countess, can't you feel things in a more comfortable place? Bone structures always struck me as a most uncomfortable place to have a feeling going on.
Listen, all of you. Listen.
Oh, skip it. Ned, will you pass me that magazine on the shelf next to you? I think any kind of reading will be preferable to listening to old psychic ears rambling.
Sure thing. Here you are, dear.
You really think this house is haunted, Countess?
Yes, I do.
It would be a fortunate thing for your business if the United States of America could be made ghost-conscious.
Dr. Hammond, you'll live to regret that remark. The Countess will take you seriously.
I am serious.
And talking of taking things seriously, when are you going to start taking me seriously, Anne?
When you start to make a living, Ned. Oh, someday I hope I won't have to try and sell my sculptures.
All art is conceived out of the fires of struggle.
Well, I'm tired of struggling. Oh, if I could just create something out of the ordinary for an art exhibit, I could make a couple of $100. I've been working 3 months for an idea, and I haven't done a thing.
My poor dear Anne, as long as you doubt the extraordinary, how can you create it?
She's got you there, Anne.
Yes, she has, Dr. Hammond.
Well, what would you suggest as a good subject for Anne to sculpt, Countess?
Well, a denizen of the other world, perhaps?
Oh, sure. That's rather a hot place for a girl to venture in order to sculpt the devil, isn't it?
Don't speak so lightly of his satanic highness. No one knows where the devil's hand may be next.
How about sculpting me, Anne? I'm an extraordinary young man.
That you are, darling.
Extraordinarily broke, at any rate.
Oh, the woes of the world revolve on that ugly stuff called money.
People take money much too seriously, Ned.
Well, frankly, Dr. Hammond, if I had some of it, I wouldn't take it at all seriously. I'd scatter it around the world like a veritable windmill.
Oh, frivolity. That's your trouble, my dear friends. Frivolity. You feed on it. Here in this very house is a poor, earthbound spirit, and yet you ignore it.
Come, Countess, you don't expect us to take it seriously.
I expect nothing.
What do you expect us to do? Call the spirit in and ask him to sit for me?
Possibly, Anne. Possibly.
Come, Countess. You're joking.
I have never been more serious in my life. I think we ought to hold a seance and command the spirits to enter the room.
That would be interesting, at least scientifically so.
Oh, nonsense, Doctor. Besides, Mrs. Dimity'd never stand for it. Ever since she moved us into this house, she's been scared stiff of the very idea of spirits.
Have you seen the amulet she's been wearing?
Yes. She carries it around like a sword.
Why don't we ask her?
Oh, we were just talking about you, Mrs. Dimity.
Oh, dear. I tell you, I just can't stand being alone in my room. I just know something was in there with me, Anne. I just know it.
The spirits probably have been attracted to you, Mrs. Dimity. I've always felt you're strongly psychic.
Oh, don't say it, Countess. Don't even think about it. It was all a mistake, moving into this house. All a mistake. I've just never been as nervous. Dr. Hammond, feel my pulse. Feel it. It's practically non-pulse, so to speak.
Well, I wouldn't take it seriously, Mrs. Dimity. We all know there are no such things as spirits. You see, we've been talking about the ghost for so long that at times we half believe, but that's purely imagination.
It wasn't imagination at all, Dr. Hammond. You know very well there are only 5 of us living here. You 4 were downstairs, and I was alone upstairs, and, oh, I did hear footsteps in the hall. I opened the door, and I felt something cold touch me.
Ah, you see, I knew it.
Oh, listen. Oh, it came from upstairs. Listen, all of you.
Ah, and was that also the wind, Dr. Hammond?
I don't know, Countess. What do you think, Ned?
I think the Countess' idea of a seance is a good practical suggestion. I'm all for it.
A seance? Oh, dear.
Yes, let's give it a try.
Well, we're all agreed.
Yes, come on, let's. I think it's a good
You're
idea.
in charge, Countess. Now tell us what to do.
Well, now, for the first thing, bring your chairs into a circle, please.
Oh, dear. I think I want back in this show.
Now, hold hands. Will someone turn off the lights?
I'll get the switch.
Good. Now we're in the dark. Quiet, please. Quiet while I summon the spirits. It is midnight, O spirits, midnight. Enter the portals of our room and speak to us. Speak to us. We are gathered to commune with you who have passed on. Withhold not your secrets. Speak. Speak. It is I, Countess Harkavy, asking you to descend to this mortal plane. Answer me. Answer me.
If my Uncle Ezekiel's in the room and wants to talk to me, I'd talk to him, Countess.
Yes, Mrs. Dimity.
Ned, stop squeezing my hand.
I'm not squeezing your hand, Anne.
Or whatever you're doing, stop doing
I'm not doing
it.
anything.
Ouch, doggone it.
What's the matter with you, Anne?
Oh, you're so coy, pinching me now.
I'm not pinching you. My hands are in my lap.
Well, who's ever sitting next to me? Stop it. Dr. Hammond.
I'm sitting across from you, Anne.
Mrs. Dimity.
Oh, dear. I wouldn't have the courage to squeeze anybody's hand at this point.
Ouch. Well, whoever it is. Turn on the light, somebody. Turn on the light.
No.
Somebody's got hold of my hand.
Don't turn on the lights. The spirits have entered the room and are attracted to you, Anne. To you.
Oh, please turn on the lights, please.
I'll do it, Anne. I'll do it.
Oh, let go. Oh, there. Oh.
There's nobody sitting next to you. That's a vacant chair.
But I felt it.
Anne, did you imagine it?
Imagine what? That somebody squeezed my hand? I imagine nothing. Look at my hand. And tell me that's imagination.
Let's see it, darling. What? Dr. Hammond, look. Her hand is bruised.
Yes, it is. Pretty badly bruised. Countess, where were you sitting?
Exactly where I'm sitting now, Dr. Hammond, and I haven't moved. You had your chance to do something extraordinary, Anne, but you muffed it. A pity is all I can say. A great pity. The seance is ruined.
But, Countess, wait a minute.
What for? To try another seance and have you become hysterical all over again? Good night.
Dr. Hammond, is it possible that I really was holding the hand of something or...
Anything's possible, Anne, but not very probable.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
I said not very probable, Mrs. Dimity. I think perhaps the Countess has been playing a trick on all of us.
It's a cute trick, Doctor. A pretty difficult one.
If she wasn't playing a trick, she shouldn't have been so upset when you turned on the lights, Ned.
Oh, Doctor, I think you've got a point there.
Nothing like a good dash of logic to take the cold chills out of my spine.
Well, how could the Countess do it, Doctor?
Well, Mrs. Dimity, psychic phenomena is the Countess's business. After all, she makes a living out of calling imaginary spooks from the outer world. I don't think it's very nice of us to try and pry into her secrets.
I hope you're right, Doctor. I do hope you're right.
Well, I wouldn't worry, Mrs. Dimity.
Well, I'm going upstairs to bed. I've had enough spooks to last me for years.
Oh, wait for me, Mrs. Dimity. I'll go up with you. Good night, Ned.
Good night, Anne.
Good night, Dr. Hammond. See you in the morning.
Good night, my dear. And don't worry about the spooks. They're purely harmless make-believe.
Oh, dear. I'll never sleep a weekend.
Well, Doctor, what's the tongue-in-the-cheek look?
Oh. Ned, I'm afraid we've had our first touch of real psychic phenomena tonight.
But you just said
I didn't want to frighten the women.
And you believe this house is haunted?
Haunted? Well, I don't like the phrase, but in essence, that's the idea. I was wondering if you'd be interested in trying an experiment with me tonight.
Certainly, Doctor, anything.
But suppose you and I spend the next few nights down here. We'll turn off the lights and wait. Just wait. Perhaps we can invite some trouble. We waited that night through without sleeping, but nothing extraordinary happened, except for the fact that Mrs. Dimity's rocking chair kept rocking all night long, creaking and squeaking as it moved. But the wind could have been responsible for that. The next night and the next and the one after that, we kept our nightly vigil, creeping up to our rooms like thieves just before daylight broke, so that nobody would suspect our secret experiment. On the fifth night of our wait, we heard the rocking chair creaking, creaking, creaking.
Doctor.
Yes, Ned?
That rocking chair couldn't be moved by wind tonight. There isn't a breath of air stirring.
I noticed that, Ned. I wonder...
Listen.
Yes, the creaking stopped. Same as usual. I'll try to get some sleep.
I can't. I'm as nervous as a cat over this whole thing.
Yes, I'm jittery, too.
Ouch, let me...
What's the matter, Ned?
I don't know. Somebody's attacked me. Help me, Doctor. Help me. It's got its arms around my throat.
There, I feel it. We'll find out who this ghost is in a short time. There, I've got his arms, Ned.
My throat. Let go of my throat.
There.
It's hurt. Can you hang on to him alone, Doctor?
I think so, but he's as strong as an ox. No, you don't.
Listen to him, will you, Doctor? His voice certainly doesn't sound human.
Turn on the lights, Ned, while I hang on to him. We'll find out who this practical prankster is.
I'm afraid to let him go, Doctor.
I can handle him, Ned. You turn on the lights. Hurry, Ned, hurry.
All right, of course. There you are. No, wait. Doctor, where is he?
He's right in front. I've got him by the arms. I'm hanging on to it. Well, this is amazing.
Amazing, Doctor. Well, we can't see it. It's invisible.
Help me, Ned. He's trying to escape. Help me. If I could only see him.
There we are. I've got it. I've got it. But what is it, Doctor? What is this thing?
What was it? I didn't know as I held the grisly thing in my arms. It struggled and sobbed and moaned exactly as a beast would struggle and moan. An invisible beast. That was the horror of it. An invisible beast. I sent Ned to the basement of the old brownstone to get some stout rope. At least we could prevent this horror from escaping. That's what I thought then. Well, Ned returned shortly from the basement and opened the door.
Here you are, Dr. Hammond.
Oh, quickly, Ned. Bind its legs. I can't hang on to it much longer. Not as young as I used to be.
All right, Doctor, I'll manage. Somehow, I try to hold him on the floor.
Yes, of course. There you are, Ned. Now, quickly. Its feet are still for the minute.
There. I got the rope about him. Look.
Huh?
A perfect loop around nothing but empty air. Hold him, and I'll bind the rope around him.
Oh, quickly, Ned.
There we are. That covers his feet. Now I'll bring it up here and around his legs.
Here, give me the rope and I'll bind his hands.
All right. We're getting him bound up like an Egyptian mummy.
There, that does it. What a relief to be able to let that awful thing go.
All right, I'll take the rope now, Doctor, and bind it to this chair. He won't get away now, I'll guarantee that.
It isn't very large, is it?
No, about the size of a small boy.
Yeah, but what is it?
Have you ever encountered anything like this before?
Well, frankly, Ned, never. Look at my hands, bitten and bruised. I wonder if I'll ever be able to move them again.
What are we going to do with the darn thing now?
I don't think that's our responsibility, Ned. I think we'd better call the boarders together and let them in on the secret.
Would you like me to get them, Doctor?
Yes, wake them up. But don't tell them why. Just ask them to come down here, and I'll throw this rug over the chair so that they won't see the ropes right away.
Don't ask so many questions, everybody. Dr. Hammond will explain everything.
Oh, good evening, Dr. Hammond. Have you possibly discovered that psychic phenomena does exist?
Come in, Countess. Come in, everybody. Don't be afraid, Mrs. Dimity.
What's that?
I'll explain it in a minute.
Explain it, Dr. Hammond?
Sit down, everybody, please. No, Mrs. Dimity, not in the rocking chair.
Oh, dear me.
I'm afraid we're in for a revelation this evening. Ned, please close the door.
Right.
Strange are the ways of the world.
Yes, Countess. The ways of the world are very strange. Mrs. Dimity, and the Countess has been correct about this house. There is something in it.
Oh, what do you mean?
There's nothing to be frightened of, Mrs. Dimity.
Oh, spirits are often kind. Indeed, they're friendlier than many mortals.
This isn't exactly a spirit, Countess.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I say. It's a beast of some kind.
Oh, the doctor, is it in this room?
Mrs. Dimity, please. Yes, Anne, it's in this room, in that rocking chair. I threw a rug over it.
Oh, unfortunate spirit.
If you wish, Countess, remove the rug.
Yes, of course.
Why, where is it?
It's there. You can see the ropes being held in place by it.
What kind of a hoax are you trying to play on me, Dr. Hammond?
It is not a hoax. There's a living, breathing something bound in that chair. But it's invisible.
Oh, why, that's incredible.
It's more than incredible.
Would you mind if I touched it?
I don't see why I should. It's not my beast. The problem is, what are we going to do with it? What do you suggest, Mrs. Dimity? Mrs. Dimity!
Oh, she's fainted, Dr. Hammond. I'll get a smelling salts right here in the desk drawer.
Oh, I felt it. I felt it, Anne. I felt it. A captured spirit. I must tell my co-worker, Dr. Zarkox, right away. He'll be so thrilled, so thrilled.
I'm not sure that we ought to tell anybody about it. Are you, Dr. Hammond?
Ned's quite right. We should not.
Oh, but Dr. Zarkox is the only living person constantly in touch with the spiritual night and day. Day and night, constantly.
The smelling salts should be in here someplace. Oh, here they are.
Until we find out exactly what it is, I don't think we ought to divulge the secret. Heaven knows what we've stumbled into.
You're right, Ned.
Here, Mrs. Dimity, take a deep breath of this.
And how do you propose going about finding out what it is?
Breathe deeply, Mrs. Dimity.
Well, I was thinking it might be possible for Anne to make a plaster cast of it.
Oh, that's a gay idea, Ned. Breathe deeply, Mrs. Dimity. You'll be all right.
That's quite a good idea, as a matter of fact.
No, you'll hold it while I make a cast, huh? If it happens to bite me with a pair of invisible teeth, that'll be my word.
No, being a doctor, I shall use a little chloroform and put it to sleep for a while. We'll be able to make a perfect cast.
Mrs. Dimity, are you all right?
Oh, I'll never be all right again.
Well, Anne, are you willing to give it a try?
Oh, I suppose so, Ned. I'll prepare the plaster right away.
There we are, Anne. The chloroform has worked perfectly. Whatever it is, it's asleep. Before you start with the plaster, I should like to listen to his heart with a stethoscope.
Certainly, Doctor.
Normal. A little faster than is normal for a human being, but maybe we're not dealing with a human being.
Yes, Doctor, that's very possible. Ned, would you hand me that container near you?
Certainly, Anne. Here you are.
Thanks, Ned. Well, Dr. Hammond, are you ready?
Yes, Anne, whenever you are.
We might as well start. 2:00. We ought to be through by 7.
And so Anne started to work to cover that invisible form with moist plaster. We watched her spellbound. The hideousness of the rough object which soon met our eyes was appalling. Anne's hands shook perceptibly as she forced herself to complete what she had started. Minutes changed into hours. The mold was completed, and we had a rough idea of this figure. Then Anne allowed the mold to dry. By morning, we had a rough facsimile of the invisible beast. How can I describe what it looked like? Well, it looked like nothing so much as a demon out of hell itself. Yes, shaped like a man with long, sinewy arms, but it was small, only 4 feet or so high. Its muscular development was amazing. And the face looked like a cannibal's, a demon. Cruel, tiny eyes, a tiny nose, and a twisted, a horribly long mouth, and sharp, shiny teeth. The first rays of light broke through the window, and I realized that the effects of the chloroform were wearing off. And... What's that, lady? He's awake.
I got him, Doctor. You better help me.
Yes, of course. Here, we'll hold him together. And...
Yes, Dr. Hammond?
We'll hold him down, and you bind his legs with the cord.
Yeah. Get that rope around his legs. Good girl, Anne. That's it.
Ow! He bit me. Your arm, darling. It's bleeding.
Don't mind my arm. Bind the legs.
Okay.
Hurry up, Anne.
That's the girl. Now slip the rope around him and pull it good and tight.
All right. There we go. Give me the rope, Anne. I'll secure his arm.
Ned, look at your arm. Oh, Doctor, he's badly bitten.
Don't bother about me now, darling. We can't let this beast loose on humanity.
That face you've done, Anne, looks like the face of a man-eater.
Yeah, it does. Give me a hand, Dr. Hammond. We'll put it back in the chair and tie it.
Okay, Ned, now, 1, 2, lift.
There. Now, tie the darn thing there.
What do you think we ought to do with it now?
I don't know. You're the doctor. Well?
I think we all need some sleep. First, I'll tend to that arm of yours, Ned, and then we'll leave the thing here for a while.
Doctor, do you think we dare leave it here quite safely?
Well, judging from the way Ned's got it tied up, I think so. Not even a spirit could get out of those ropes. Come on, Ned, I want to take a look at that arm of yours.
Oh, I'm tired. I'll leave the little statue in here till morning. You know, Doctor, that makes an interesting study, doesn't it?
Yes, quite an interesting one. Extraordinary piece of work, one might say. Well, good night, Anne. Come on, Ned, let's get that arm bandaged. We'll all think more clearly in the morning. We thought we could think more clearly after some sleep. And so the days went by. Ned and Anne and I stayed with that invisible beast constantly. I took test after test. Its heart condition, its breathing, every test I took baffled me completely. For this invisible beast reacted to every test exactly as a reptile would react. Or to be more specific, a python, a type of snake which swallows an animal or a man whole and then digests it. As the days passed, we realized that since this was living matter, it must eat. We tempted it with every kind of food imaginable, tried force-feeding it, but the animal never swallowed one bite of food. And then one evening, all of us were collected in the living room when those horrible sounds started.
Oh, I tell you, Ned, it's hungry.
Anne, darling, we've tried feeding.
But you've got to get it out of this house. I can't take it any longer.
Capturing a spirit will evoke the anger of the gods. My advice to you is to let it go.
That's not very good advice, Countess. Whatever this is, it would be fairly dangerous loose.
Oh, isn't there anything we can feed it? It must be suffering horribly, Doctor. No food or water for 2 weeks.
Yes, Anne, there is something we can feed it, but unfortunately or fortunately, we can't.
What are you talking about, Doctor?
Human flesh, Ned. This creature is a man-eater, an invisible man-eater. There's only one thing for us to do. Call the police and the medical society and turn it over to them. There's nothing more we can do.
Oh, you'll regret this, Doctor. You'll regret it. You can't evoke the anger of the spirit world without payment in full.
Anne, will you make the call?
Certainly, Doctor.
I'll go with you, darling.
Don't tell them anything about it. Just ask them to come over here immediately. And so, gentlemen, Anne called you and brought you over here. I've told you the complete story of the monster from the very beginning.
Well, Dr. Hammond, as a member of the police force, I don't mean to doubt you. But where is this invisible monster?
It died of hunger 10 minutes before you arrived, Sergeant.
Well, where is it?
On the floor, here, next to my foot. You can feel it even if you can't see it. Here, put your hand down here.
All right. Sergeant, feel this. It feels like a dead man. I tell you it does. Look at that.
Sure, Doctor. What kind of a trick are you trying to play on it?
Trick, Sergeant? Take my word for it, it's no trick. You felt it yourself.
Many people know how to make a mass of material appear invisible. Chemistry can give you a lot of explanations of that kind of a hoax.
It's no hoax, gentlemen, on my word of honor. It's no hoax.
Tell us a better story.
Come on, boys, let's get out of here. We enjoyed your fairy tale, Doctor, but we can't swallow that one
But,
whole.
gentlemen, ask any one of us in this room. I swear to you, it's the truth. Look in the corner at that statuette. That's an exact replica of the invisible beast.
Ah, now I get it. You're trying to get some free publicity for the art exhibition at the museum.
No, gentlemen, I made that plaster cast myself from the invisible monster. Dr. Hammond's telling you the truth.
Oh, yeah? Well, if it's the truth, what was it?
What was it? Frankly, gentlemen, I don't know what it was.
From the time-worn pages of the past, you have heard, what was it? Bellkeeper, toll the bell.
It's intermission time at the Bah Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. Hey, Ghoulies! Hope you're enjoying today's radio show. If you're still up afterward, join us over at Channel Watchwaddle for our midnight spook show screening of The Haunted Skeletons. It'll scare you to the bone. For now, enjoy the rest of the radio program.
Have you ever watched a magician work? A really good sleight of hand artist can pull lighted cigarettes from the air. He's able to saw a woman in half. He can pull a rabbit out of a hat or make a fountain pen disappear. But have you ever seen a magician who could make a 200-pound corpse disappear? Hello, creeps. This is T4Y, opening the doors of the Mystery Playhouse. Our story tonight is an imaginative tale called Who Took the Corpse? It was written by D.L. Champion.
The little town of Fernville's only scarlet crime was born of a corncob pipe and grew to the stature of a celebrated case when its corpse vanished. The crime involved 3 men. One became the corpse, another the killer, and the third lived to record tonight's story. It all started one night in the Palace Bar, where Sid Doughton, the police deputy, watched Fernville's newest resident amuse the mill hands with clever card tricks. The newcomer was good. He was a magician, a suave, satanic figure in a red-lined cape. He called himself Marvelo. And Marvelo, Sid Doughton noticed as he crowded in to watch, carried his many drinks well.
And now, gentlemen, a flip, so, a shuffle, so, and here is your carefully concealed card, the ace of spades. And now, gentlemen, will the man who was smoking that horrible pipe Desist, the odor is offensive.
I guess he means that corn cob of yours, Sid.
May I see that pipe, sir?
Oh, sure. Well, let me knock the ashes out first. Here you are.
I place the horrible object on the bar. So. Then I place the magic cloth over it. So.
What you gonna do, Marvelo? Make it smell like violet?
No, I will do better than that, my friend. Now a magic word. Dushavi. Presto, a new pipe.
Well, hey, somebody should have made Sid's old pipe disappear a long time
Come,
ago.
sir, don't you approve a new pipe for an old one?
Nope, I like my old one. Let's have it.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. I can't bring your old pipe back. It's in a limbo beyond my call. Bartender, another scotch, please.
Marvelo,
Sir?
give me that pipe.
You, sir, are an individual I dislike. A poor sport.
Might be, but I'm a deputy. And also, I think you've had a lot of drinks. And also, I think I ought to take you home. Now, come on.
It'd be most unwise of you to lay a hand on me, my friend.
Yeah, I know. Now, come on.
I told you not to lay a hand on me. Hey, Sid, what you doing sitting on the floor?
Yeah, lots of chairs around.
Hey, that's what they call jujitsu, ain't it?
Yeah, that's what they call that stuff.
Now, bartender, that scotch, please.
Hello, Sid. I ate your breakfast off the mantel this morning.
I sure did. Well, I guess you heard what happened last night, Chief.
Hey, what the devil are you doing? Rolling your own cigarettes now?
Yeah. Ain't breaking in new pipes, and Marvelo never gave me back my old one. I'm going to the bank now, Lamb.
Oh, that's right. It is payroll day at the mill, ain't it? Oh, hang it, Sid. You used to knock pipe ashes out all over. Now you're spilling cigarette tobacco on me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lamb. Well, I'll see you later. And I'll be at the palace tonight in case the boys rough it up.
Yeah. Best deputy in the state, but the untidiest man I ever seen.
You can tell it's payday, huh, Sid?
Yep. Palace is sure busy tonight, Tom.
What? Here comes your pal Marvelo.
Gentlemen, may I have your attention? Gentlemen, please. Thank you.
He's gunning for you, Sid.
Now, shut up, Tom, and listen.
Card tricks and feats of magic are merely a profession, gentlemen. My basic interest is the study of the occult, the black arts. Very few men, gentlemen, have gone as deeply into the forbidden realm of evil as I. Very few men possess my powers.
What's he driving at, Sid?
I read men's hidden thoughts. I see their souls mirrored in their minds. Tonight, in this room, a man plans murder. That man plans to murder me. You're all my witnesses. I will point this man out to you by means of this knife.
You blasted fool. All right, Marvelo, you asked for it this time. I don't know magic, but this is a 38, and these are handcuffs. And tonight you can study your black books in our jail.
No jail and no steel handcuffs can hold Marvelo, you idiot.
Well, what do you say we just try it, huh? See you in court, Marvelo.
All right. A little quiet, please. Next case. Daniel Biggs, alias Marvelo. Where's the defendant?
Sid Doughton's upstairs getting him out of his cell, Your Honor.
Well, what's keeping him? Somebody go up and...
Judge Whitworth, come on.
Well, Deputy, where's the defendant?
He's gone, Judge.
Gone? What do you mean gone? Where? Wasn't he in the cell?
Oh, he was locked in the cell with handcuffs on. And I locked the outer door, too, but he's gone.
Well, that's ridiculous. Any signs of escape?
Nope, the door's locked from the inside, and the bars are solid. He's just disappeared into thin air. But I'll find that black devil, Your Honor. If it's the last thing I do, I'll find...
It could very well be the last thing you do, Mr. Doden.
Order here. How did you get out, Mr. Biggs?
Your Honor, how could you expect me to tell you that? The black arts reveal their secrets only to those who keep them.
Yes, well, here's a secret the court will share with you. In Fernville, we don't go in for throwing knives around in public places. What is all this grudge between you two, Doden?
Your Honor, this guy has a screw loose somewhere. He goes around thinking that I want to kill him.
And so you do. A half hour after I left the palace the first night I met you, your animal brain had conceived a cowardly plot to murder me and to hide behind your badge of office.
That's a lie.
I warned you last night. Publicly. Today, Doughton, before this court, I warn you that your plan won't work because I am going to kill you first.
Why, you...
Hold it, Sid.
Slim, did you hear that?
Yep. Now, look, Marvolo. For that kind of talk, I can arrest you again. For killing, I can hang you. You got that straight?
Hang Marvolo? My friend, if your deputy doesn't change his mind about murdering me, I will kill him. And you will be powerless to stop me, or to hang me, or even to prove I have committed a crime. Good day, all.
Don't trust him, Sid. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, he's just a nut. Oh, that doesn't bother me, Lamb. But I'll watch him.
Hello? This the freight office? Hello, Tom. This is Sid Doughton. Say, did the express stop today? Yeah, that's right. New radio with a phonograph gadget. Sure, I got it for my wife's birthday. Now, look, I took a room at the Palace Hotel, room 212. I want to keep it there and try it out. Send it over tomorrow, will you? Now, don't forget, room 212.
Morning, bartender.
Oh, hey.
I must be your first customer.
Yeah, you sure are, Marvolo. Ain't noon yet. What'll it be?
Double brandy, please.
Right, sure. Ah, there you are. Say, you don't come around till night, usually. How come you're here so early?
Yes, it is unusual, isn't it? But then it isn't every day that one kills a man,
huh?
Is it? I'm going to room 212.
Hey, that's Stoughton's room. He's up there now. There's no radio.
Yes, I know.
Huh? How'd you know? It's a secret.
How I know is my secret.
Hey, you can't... he's nuts. He wouldn't do that and tell me about it. Sid can handle him anyhow.
In which direction is room 212, please?
212. It's right here, sir. That door over there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah? Marvolo.
You can't say I didn't warn you, Doughton.
No, you idiot. No, put away that gun. No, you'll hang. No, don't, Marvolo, don't. Look, what do you want?
This is it, Doughton. And after you're dead, they won't be able to bury you because they'll never find your corpse.
I saw him do it. I saw him lying right there in the blood. I saw him. Oh.
Yeah, Lem, yeah. Sure, he's dead. Marvolo? No. He's just standing in front of the room, grinning. Yeah, Bill Sanders has got him covered with my shotgun. Yeah, we'll hold him. Hurry up, will you?
Here comes the sheriff now. Yeah, there he's coming right up the stairs.
All right, Bill. Take the shotgun out of his ribs. Well, Marvolo, you weren't bluffing, they tell me. You actually killed Sid.
You're the police chief, Mr. Tracy. You expect me to testify against myself? Here's the gun.
Thanks. Open the room door, Bill. What's going on here? Somebody being funny? There ain't no one in this room.
I saw him. I saw him lying right there, Mr. Tracy. See? See the blood?
There's blood, all right. The closet's empty. Window's locked on the inside. Sid's radio half out of the crate. Well, Marvelo, where is it?
Where is what, Mr. Tracy?
Doughton's body.
Search me.
I see. Bill, how long did it take you to get up here after the shots?
Oh, long enough to grab the shotgun under the counter and run up the stairs. About 3 or 4 minutes.
Where was this guy when you got here, Bill?
Right where he is now, Chief.
Uh-huh. Look, you. Outside of being my deputy and a fellow human, Sid Doughton was a good friend of mine. And I can promise you, you'll dance on the end of a rope for this. Come on, you're under arrest.
What for, may I ask?
Murder.
Murder? But you have no corpse. No corpus delicti. How can you arrest me for murder?
I can hold you for 48 hours on suspicion of murder. I should be able to find Sid's body by then.
Hey, Lem.
Yeah?
Lem, the mill just called to see if Sid was here. They're waiting for him to bring the payroll down.
Oh. Well, now, isn't that a coincidence? Marvelo, you sure picked a fine day for it, didn't you? Now I've got to find a $110,000 payroll as well as a corpus delicti.
Well, Lem, maybe the guy really used magic to get rid of Doughton.
As a district attorney, you make a lousy detective, Milton. You realize I had to turn that killer loose in 12 hours?
How about the bullets? Did you find them?
Marvelo's gun shows he fired 4 chambers. It's a .25. That caliber slug stays in a man's body.
You searched the palace?
Top to bottom. He didn't hide it there.
How about his house?
Even Superman couldn't carry a corpse over the other end of town and come back in 4 minutes. But I searched anyhow. The only thing missing was his car. He's got a bill of sale showing he sold it to a dealer who drove it west 3 days ago. Okay, Marvelo. You in the first round. I can't hold you any longer.
Yes. Well, thank you for your hospitality, Chief, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I will leave Fernville. That is, if I may.
Sure. You're free until I find Sid's body, that is. No, and by the way, you better spend that payroll money you took from Sid fast. Where you're going to wind up, it ain't going to be much good to you. Hello, Milton?
Yeah, Lem, what's up?
I think I can crack this case. I just got a report on Marvelo's car. I can't make an arrest, of course, but the Chicago police have been able to tail the car, and they've told me where Marvelo is living there. He's apparently been there since he left here 4 days ago. I'm leaving for Chicago today.
Red cap.
Taxi! Look, son, I want you to drive me out towards Arlington Park. There's no farmhouse out there I want to get to. I'll tell you where to drop me off.
Okay, Pop.
All right, son. Let me off at that crossroad.
Well, don't you want to go to the house you want?
Nope. I want to surprise a friend of mine. Here you are, son. Keep the change.
Thanks, mister.
There it is. Mailbox. Daniel Biggs. And there's Marvelow's car in the driveway. Uh-huh. Yeah, that does it.
Good evening, Chief Tracy.
Marvelo.
Put up your hand.
Well, Marvelo, thought you'd be in the house. I'm getting careless, I guess.
Yes, very careless, my friend. I was afraid you might track down my car, but it doesn't really matter. Just keep your hands on sight, please. Let's go inside where it's more comfortable, shall we? Believe me, I regret having to do this, Mr. Tracy.
Yeah. You'll probably regret it longer than I will.
I'll do you one favor, Tracy. As a detective, there are aspects of this case which you might like to know about. I'll answer any one question for you. Just one question, Tracy. Before you die.
That's very thoughtful of you, Marvelo.
Not so.
All right. What did you do with Sid's body?
Your deputy is...
Sid! Sid Doughton! First time I ever had a corpse save my life, Sid. Sure glad to see you. Tell me what happened, Sid.
Sure. Give me a match first.
Here you are.
Thanks. Well, there's lots of it that I don't know, Lem. Marvelo comes in the hotel and fires at me. There's a puff of black smoke from the gun, and I pass out.
What then?
Well, I don't know where he hid me, but I woke up, seemed like years later, in the trunk compartment of this car.
Ain't. Now that Marvelo's dead, we'll never know how he worked it. How'd you get away from him?
Worked the ropes loose this afternoon, hid in the orchard. I knew he'd taken the payroll from us. I saw him nab you, so I waited. Then I moved in.
Oh, hang it, Sid. Why do you knock your pipe ashes out on floors?
Oh, I'm sorry, Lem. I forgot. Hey, why are you stopping here, Lem?
Well, might as well get some gas. Besides, I got to phone Chicago police about Marvelo.
What?
Yeah. You got a phone here?
Right inside the door.
Thank you. Come on. Hello, police headquarters? Give me Deputy Green, please. Hello, Green? This is Tracy from Fernville. Yeah. Say, send that squad car down the turnpike to Letner's gas station, will you? Yeah, I got them both. The corpse and the killer. Sit. You were listening.
Yeah, I was listening. I come in behind you.
Easy. Don't try anything, Sid.
Try anything. Why, I'll blast you one over now.
I'm sorry you made me do that, Sid. I'm arresting you for the murder of your partner, Daniel Biggs, alias Marvelo. That bandage will hold you till the squad car gets here, Sid. Light your pipe if you want it.
Oh, thanks. How'd you figure it out, Lem?
Oh, well, I don't believe in magic, Sid. Marvelo had to have an accomplice to get out of jail. You're the only one who could have helped him stage that hokum.
That all you had to go on?
No. No, a man has habits, Sid. Little habits like pipe smoking.
Oh?
Yeah. You said you never got your old pipe back from Marvelo. And then you pulled it out when we were in the car.
Yeah, I got it, guess. How do you dope out my disappearance?
Well, Marvelo probably shot 4 blanks at you. You cut your arm for the blood. The gal saw you lying there, and she ran out. You went out the window to the roof, and Marvelo locked the window after you. Then I figure you made it to the car outside of town and waited for Marvelo to show up. And, of course, you had that payroll with you, so I found it hidden in Marvelo's car.
And by shooting Marvelo?
You probably thought he was going to spill the setup to me.
You're right, you know. I wouldn't have had to split the payroll with him. I should have stuck to my old profession, huh, Lem?
Yeah, you should have, son. Or you should have stuck to cigarettes. Oh, hang it, Sid. Why didn't you learn not to empty your pipe ashes all over? You're the untidiest guy I ever seen.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lem. I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, too, Sid. Mighty sorry. Come on, let's go, son. Anyhow, this is the first case in history where the corpse becomes the killer, and the killer winds up as the corpse.
The story was called Who Took the Corpse? This is T4Y closing the doors of the Mystery Playhouse and saying good night. Sleep tight. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Thank you for watching. And don't forget to go over to Channel Watchwaddle for their midnight spook show screening of The Haunted Skeletons. Presented in Skull Vision. Hope to see you all there.